ॐ जयति जगति मायां यस्य कायादवस्थे वचनरचनमेकं केवलं चाकलय्य ध्रुवपदमपि यातो यत्कृपातो ध्रुवोऽयं सकलकुशलपात्रं ब्रह्मपुत्रं नतोऽस्मि. We are studying the second chapter of Narad Bhakti Sutras. In the first chapter, we have learnt about the nature of bhakti in so many ways. And this bhakti is a particular tendency of the mind. This bhakti starts from the point we understand God is pulling us. This is Narade Bhakti. In the simplest word, Narade Bhakti is understand maybe a poor word, we feel God is pulling us. This is the start of Narade Bhakti. It does not require any other condition. Now, we do not feel that God is pulling us. We feel many times we are loving God, or we may not feel about God, or so many things are there. So the question is how to achieve this, how to achieve the point in our life where we can feel that God is loving us. Now, God is loving us is according to the nature of God. That we have seen in the Amrita Swarupa and everywhere we are seen. Ishwarasyapi Avimana Dveshitva Dainipriyatva. Everywhere we have seen that God is the reality one without a second. He is my innermost reality. So it is natural for him, like a magnet pulling the needles. It is natural that God is pulling all of us towards himself. But we do not feel. Majority of the people do not feel. Those who feel, they also feel in a mixed up way. So, to achieve this bhakti means to find the obstructions in the very natural process of feeling that God is doing us. Achieve this bhakti means we have to remove the obstacles because Narati Bhakti seems to be the most natural thing in man's life. It is the very nature of man that the reality is pulling him. How can there be a man where reality is not pulling? But in fact, we see reality is not pulling. That is because of our doshas, our faults. So to find out what is obstructing and to remove them, that is how to achieve Naradi Bhakti. Now, so Narada said, we started in the second chapter from the Sutra 34. Heading of that section is Bhakti Sadhanani, the means which will make us achieve Naradi Bhakti. And the first sutra is Tasya Sadhanani Gayanti Acharya. The Acharyas who have realized this, realize God with the help of Naradi Bhakti, they sing because the intense, acute, highest experience always is expressed as a song. It is a feeling which comes out from the heart. And there is no Mataveda Naradi is telling us. Then he says Tattu. So first shock Narad is giving us here. In Narad Bhakti Sutras, we got a shock treatment in many places. So here he says, you don't think that how to achieve Naradi Bhakti, do bhajan, kirtan, study books. He says, no. Obstructions what are? Our attraction to objects of enjoyment, then you understand. Now a question was asked before the class that shall we not study, shall we not do this? You do everything, not as a matter of enjoyment. About that study, let me tell something which I have seen in my life. In Chandigarh, I was invited by a girls' higher secondary school, higher secondary, what we call junior college, the NSS wing of that college. And the girls asked me a question that our parents see the TV and they do not allow us to see the TV. They are telling, now you study in Hindi, बाद में ऐश कर लेना, ऐश is enjoyment. Now you study, you enjoy afterwards. Then the girls are not asking this to parents and they are asking to me. Why we should not enjoy now? Suppose we die tomorrow, when we shall enjoy? I told them what a great misfortune in our country or in the world, I do not know, that your parents are connecting your study with your enjoyment. Does enjoyment require study? Who is the best? Aish. Aish is a ruling in enjoyment. What is the best example of ruling in enjoyment? A pig. He does not study. He is ruling in enjoyment. Do you want to become like that? Why our studies connect with our enjoyment? I can never understand. So I told you that study is done for the improvement of knowledge, for the improvement of personality, for the improvement of our buddhi. Ultimately, if you study the ideal examples, we have heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his elder brother, Vishwambar. As soon as he completed his studies, he went away from the house to the forest. He became a sannyasi. So his parents thought if this is the result of study. Chaitanya was small at that time, maybe in the second, third standard according to our measurement. They stopped his going to school. Then what he did, he used to deliberately do some dirty thing. Like cow dung or any dirty thing, he will keep on his head and stand before his mother. Mother said, why you are doing these dirty things? He said, how do I understand what is dirty and not dirty? You are not sending me to school. You tear his clothes and stand before the mother. Such thing good boys do not know. How I do know what is good and bad? You are not sending me to school. Then the friends of Chaitanya's father told him, our student is difficult, our boys to send them to school. And your boy wants to go to school, please do not obstruct, let him go. So you understand the meaning of study? To understand good and bad, to understand dirty and not dirty. That is the meaning of study. So this concept, anyway, now I don't want to speak further in that line. Now, Narada is telling us how to achieve bhakti, Vishaya Tyaga. What Vishaya was telling. Indriyas will be always among the Vishayas. We cannot live without them. And if Narada says, don't go into Vishayas, then shall we die? So here Vishaya means object of enjoyment. Please add this. Indriyas are in Vishayas. In the natural course, we see, we hear, we do, all these things are there. But a sense comes, I want to enjoy this. Going very deep into it, I told, a subject enjoys objects. You can never have bhakti. So he says, give up the objects of enjoyment. Naradi bhakti, it is not a joke, it is not a child's play, though it is very natural. Though it is very natural, today it is not easy for us. So Vishaya Tyaga. Now we are given up objects. Even then, the attachment to objects is there. We want them. We want them. Somehow we are checking ourselves. So he says, Narad says, Vishaya Tyagat Sangat Tyagat Cha. Give up attachment to objects of enjoyment. This is the first condition of achieving Narada's Bhakti or first means of achieving Narada's Bhakti. That is why I said Tattu. Don't think something else. The obstructions have to be removed. If you did not have the attraction to the objects of enjoyment, if you did not have the attachment to the objects of enjoyment, Lord, Swami Kanda told a beautiful thing. Suppose a man has no desires, what the form of religion would be in his life? He said the only form of religion would be to praise God. Oh Lord, wonderful you are. Oh Lord, you are wonderful. That would be the only form of religion if a man had no desires. So Narada says, give up objects of enjoyment, give up attachment to those objects, and then Avyavritta Bhajanat. Don't ask me how many hours. People generally ask when they are take mantra diksha or anything. How many hours should I meditate? How many hours I should do japa? Can you count God? Swami Vivekananda says, is God bringers? How many rupees per kilo you'll get it? How many does not stand in the realm of God? How many hours? Why not always think of God? Why not always meditate, do something for Him, do puja, do flower plucking, read books on bhakti, do every act devotionally. He has told, Tadarpita Akhila Charata, Tad Vismarane Parama Vyapulata. It is not a particular action, the spirit behind the action. So Avyavritta Bhajanat means now you are studying. Why I am studying? I told you no, improvement of knowledge. No. I am studying because I want God. I am studying because God wants me to study. Can you get this spirit? So this is Avyavritta Vajana. Do not circumscribe your devotional activities. Vyavritta means subscribe, circumscribe. Vajanat means devotional activities. Every activity can be devotional. Avyavritta, unsubscribed devotional activities. This is the second means of achieving Naradi Bhakti. The first is Vishaya Tyagat, Sangat Tyagat. Second is don't circumscribe your devotional activities. Now you will say, but their secular activities is there. I have to take bath, I have to take food, I have to cook, I have to study, I have to go to college, I have to go to office. Narada says, all right. Do all that. Loke api Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtana. Ramakrishna's words, keep some part of the mind in God always. Ramakrishna gives an example. When big pujas are done, one lamp is lighted at the very beginning of puja. And that light is not extinguished till the puja is over. Now we want to wave light. So another light is lighted from that light. We are going on so many activities, but this one light is always burning. That is the example he gives, that some part of the mind should always be given to God. So, that also I told yesterday. I give the examples of the motor drivers. 10% activity, concentration is not necessary for any job. Motor drivers listen to music, no accident. When they do not listen to music, accidents happen. Suppose in our mind, some figure, 60 or 70% attention is enough and necessary for driving a car. Now the 30% runs amok throughout the world and accidents happen. If this 30% is engaged listening to music, the remaining 70 is given to driving the car. And that is why they listen to music. So in every activity, I gave the example also yesterday, how Swami Premananda introduced in Belur Math, when sadhus are cutting vegetables, one person reads Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I also gave the example of a lady whose husband had taken an agency of the cordless earphones. She used to put the two-in-one somewhere. Nobody in the house is listening to that because the voice is caught by the cordless. earphone. The voice does not go outside. She is working in the kitchen, but she is getting that. So with the help of modern gadgetry, I told you, we can very easily achieve this, that many people, when they go to take bath, they sing, isn't it? So bath taking also does not require our whole attention. Now instead of singing some any random songs, why not sing devotional songs? Why not sing some stotras? So loke api bhagavad guna shravana kirtana. Either listen to or sing yourself. Singing is not always music. Huh? Sing, humming, everybody, they say everybody is a bathroom singer. No, everybody is not loudly singing in the bathroom. They are humming. So this is the way. You are not to subscribe your devotional activities. Every activity try to make it devotional. But there are secular activities needed for the continuation of life. There also, you keep some connection with God. This is the means of achieving Naradiya Bhakti. Otherwise, your mind goes astray. Now, after telling this, he told, Mukhyatastu, but mainly. But mainly, no, here I am putting a question to Narada. If mainly you are telling now, why not tell it in the beginning, if that is mainly? Because we must follow Vishatyagat, Sangatyagat, Avyavruta Vajanat, Lokepi Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtanat, but mainly Narade Bhakti you achieve in a very different. And what is that way? Mahakrupaya eva. Struggle throughout your life. It fructifies only when you get associated with a Mahapurush. Examples are there. Gopalarma, which we call Agormani Devi, was a widow, child widow. For 30 years, she had taken Gopal Mantra from her former guru. And for 30 years, she was doing japa. Somehow, she heard about Sri Ramakrishna, came to meet him. And within 2 months of this, she started getting the vision of Krishna. She got the vision of Krishna all pervading. She continuously lived with that child Krishna. 2 months after she came in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, not before. The Maharashtra Saint Gyaneshwar, whom I am referring again and again, has a name for the Guru. You know what is that? Upaya Vana Vasanta. Upaya Vana Vasanta. Spring in the forest of Upayas. Spring in the forest of your attempt to realize God. You are doing Upayas in the forest. Only when the spring season comes, the trees will get flowers. So, all your efforts succeeds only when you come in touch with some Mahapurusha, not otherwise. This is the main thing. Now that is what, and we have plenty of examples. I told you, I asked my Guruji, the discussion was about Sri Ramakrishna's nephew, Hriday. Hriday was remaining with Sri Ramakrishna, he did not get any devotion. So in that context, I asked my Guruji, unless one has spiritual receptivity, it is useless to stay with a Mahapurush, isn't it? Like that I asked. My Guruji asked me, tell me, how does one get spiritual receptivity unless you stay with a Mahapurush? Unless you stay with a Mahapurush, how will the spiritual receptivity come? Now, one of my friends used to tell me about Ramakrishna Mission or about any any sadhu samaj. The new person joins, becomes a brahmachari. He has his own peculiar language to tell. Unless he washes the copiness of the seniors, how he will become fit for spiritual life? That is what I heard from him. Anyway, so association with Mahapurushas. Some rare examples you will see who from within gets God's grace and they feel bhakti. They will be very rare upon us. So Narada says that Mukhyatastu Mahat Kripaya Eva is there. Bhagavad Kripa Leshadva. Or sometimes, rarely it may happen that a little bit of God's grace has come upon him and he turns a devotee. We get such examples, but they are always very rare. Do not seek. Many times what happens in our life, we feel our life will be an exception. It will be a failure. Don't seek the exception, seek the general rule. So, this is the Mukhyatastu. Now, here I may add, where do we get Mahapurushas? Through books also we are getting associated with Mahapurushas. Through hearing about Mahapurushas, we get associated with Mahapurushas. And we will get their grace. Now this seems to be not in our hands. So I read the next sutra last time. I read again. We are between comes Mat Sangastu Durlabho Agamya Amoghasya. This is important. Durlabho, very rare. Agamya, to understand that he is a Mahapurush is very difficult. This way did a lot of charcha last time. That unless you have the basic qualities of becoming a disciple, you will never understand a Mahapurush. To understand a Mahapurush, you do not require to be higher than a Mahapurush. To understand Mahapurush, you have to require purity, real desire for God, and patience and perseverance. If you have these three qualities in you, you will be able to judge a Mahapurush. And what to seek in a Mahapurush? He should be absolutely pure. He should have no motive in teaching us except for love for us. And he should know the spirit of scriptures. This is what Swamiji has told in a chapter in his book Bhakti Yoga. There he says, I will tell you now some tests for gurus, and he starts telling the test of disciples. The meaning is that unless you have this, the disciple he cannot understand it. That day I quoted examples that there are guru will come and give us knowledge. That is not the way to seek a guru. Unless you have purity, unless you have genuine love for God, unless you are ready to wait, not simply wait, perseverance. Patience and perseverance, then only you understand the Guru. Amoghasya. But once you get, it is infallible. The grace of Mahapurusha is infallible. Now comes the point. Should we wait for it? How to get it? Where to look for it? Narada is giving a big assurance to us. Next sutra. Labhyate api tat kripaya eva. This sutra has two meanings. Labhyate api, you will get it by God's grace. Same thing. If you are seeking God, God will see to it that you get a Mahapurush. By the grace of God, first he told little bit of grace directly. Otherwise, grace of God will come to you through Mahapurushas. The grace of God will come upon you if you are sincerely seeking God. And I told you, a Christian saying in that respect, the seeking sinner meted the seeking savior. Christian terminology, sinner means the sadhaka, savior means the guru. You are seeking a guru. The guru is seeking you. Now, in a brilliant case, if you take, some people argue, if Vivekananda had not got Sri Ramakrishna, what would happen to him? If does not come. If there is a Vivekananda, Ramakrishna is bound to come. So, grace, assurance of Narada. Don't get puzzled how to get a Mahapurush. You will get. If you are sincerely seeking God, somebody will come to show you the way. So, Labhyate api tat krupaya Labhyate api tat krupaya eva. Tat krupa means God's grace. Now, this sutra has another meaning, important meaning. You have got Mahapurush. What should be your attitude? I am great, so I got a Mahapurush. That will spoil the whole thing. If you get a Mahapurush, think it is God's grace on you. By God's grace, you get a Mahapurush. If you get a Mahapurush, you should think that it is God's grace which you have got, not because of your ability. In the Bengali devotional literature, Ram Prasad sings many times, Mother, by your own qualities, please grace upon me, not because of my qualities. Nija Gune Daya. Ram Prasad's experience for the mother is Nija Gune Daya. You are gracious by nature, so give your grace to me. Not that because I have certain qualities. This should be our attitude when we get a guru. So this lesson also is given in this. Primary lesson is assurance, and the next lesson is that when you get somebody to guide you, think that it is God's grace on you. Now, what is the connection? How God's grace comes through Mahapurush? What is the connection? Narada is telling beautifully. Tasmin tajjane veda abhavat. Tasmin means in God. Tajjane means his people. In his people, veda abhavat. No difference is there. The name of the Mahapurush has changed now. What are the Mahapurushes? His people. His people, God's people. So God sends his people to the world. Not that once upon a time he sends some incarnation, then he stops. Swami Vivekananda had said, if this world has become bereft of Mahapurushes, it will crash in one day. So Mahapurushes are there. They are God's people. Because they are God's people, so by God's grace you get them. That is the connection. God's grace and you are getting a Mahapurush. We do not feel the connection. So Narada says, Abhavat means Hetu. The reason for this is that there is no difference between God and his man. These are all Vedantic ideas. Brahma with Brahma bhavati. That is the Vedantic idea. Not idea, a truth, a fact that the knowers of God become like God, become God. No difference between God and his people. Now the expression is such beautiful. Instead of telling Mahapurusha, it is his people. They are his people. I told you, Dhaneshwar, when he is praying to God, he is telling those who are Ishwara Nishta should be available to all my God in this world. That is the greatest blessing he is asking. So, Labhyate api tat krupaya eva, because tasmin tajjane veda bhava. And then he says, Tadeva sadhyatam, Tadeva sadhyatam. That means do. Vishatyak sangatyak. Do uncircumscribed bhajan. Do lokepi Bhagwan Guna Shravana Kirtana. But please seek a Mahapurush. Please seek a Guru to start your life. That is the meaning. And then only the life starts. You have to struggle. If you struggle, you will get a Guru. If you struggle, God will grace upon you. But that should be the point of your struggle now. Tadeva sadhyata. That only is to be achieved. He started by telling us how to achieve Naradi Bhakti. Now he says, what is to be achieved is a Mahapurush Sangha. Tadeva sadhyatam, tadeva sadhyatam. Then everything will follow automatically. So, now, suppose we are not getting, or sometimes we are not getting, or we are not able to follow, we are not able to recognize him, what we can do at least, Narada, don't go the other side by any means. By any means, don't go to the other side. Dussanga sarvatha eva tyajya. Dussanga, the bad company, sarvatha eva, by all means, tyajya, has to be given up. Now I will tell you what happens. Some people, they say, we are good. What can evil company do to us? Our question is, are you 10% good? Then you are, I realize God by now. Some amount of non-good is in you or not you. If there is no amount of bad in you, you would have realized God by now. So this is a very wrong attitude. If we are God, if we are good, bad company will not do us anything. Narada is telling what it will do. So in the topic of Tadeva Sadhyatam, in the topic of seek only the company of Sadhyatam is seek the company of Mahapurushas. He is adding that don't go to the other side at all. Dussanga sarvathaiva tyajya. What it will do? Kama, Krodha, Moha, Smriti Bhransha, Buddhi Nasha. One part with is Sarvanasha Karanatvat. Immediately we recognize this is the series given in the Gita, Sthita Prakilakshana. Jayato Vishayan Pusa, Sangas Tishu Bajayate, Sangat Sanjayate, Kama, Kamat Krodho Vijayate, Krodhat Bhoti Sammoha, Sammohat Smriti Vibrama, Smriti Bhranshat Buddhi Nasha, Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. By meditating on objects of enjoyment, he has told us to give up the objects of enjoyment. Attachment comes, attachment leads to desire, desire leads to anger, anger leads to moha, fascination or delusion. That leads to smriti bhransha, not memory failure. You will forget that your aim, goal of life is God. You will forget how to proceed to God. And then buddhi, the very thinking capacity will go. Your philosophy will change. And if philosophy changes, you understand you are bound for destruction. This very series Narada is giving, that is what bad company will do to you. Let me quote an example here. Those who have read Ramayana, those who have not read, I put to them, you should read Ramayana. Indian culture, if you want to know, it is in Ramayana and Mahabharata. One should know that. Now there is a story in Ramayana. What is the story? I am telling the story of Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was a good person to start with. Very good person. She might have her faults. but who does not have faults? She was a good person and she loved Rama more than she loved Bharat. If Rama is being taken care of by his mother Kausalya, Kaikeyi will come and lift him and take him to her apartment. So much she was loving Rama. And Dasharatha decided with the help of counselors and his gurus that he will anoint Rama as the heir apparent, Yuvraj. And he told Rama, tomorrow early morning I am going to have a ceremony of anointing you as the heir apparent. So in the night you get ready with Sita, with your mother, you do whatever is necessary to purify yourself. Rama was giving dana, he was doing so many things. And then Dasharatha was busy in the sense, whole day he was consulting his counselors, gurus. So in the nightfall he goes to Kaikeyi. No, much before, sorry. Kaikeyi had a maid servant named Manthara. Maid servant from her father's house. From there she had come. She had special attachment to Kaikeyi. And she could not think of anything but Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi's son is Bharata, Rama's second brother. So she all the time thinks that Bharata should become the king. Now, she gets the news early. She is always moving everywhere in the palace. She gets the news early. Kaikeyi is not yet got the news. Manthara gets the news early that Rama is to be anointed tomorrow. She runs to Kaikeyi and says, have you heard? Have you heard? What is that? Rama is going to be the prince. She immediately gives her necklace to Manthara. Such a beautiful news you have brought for me. Take this present. Manthara is bent upon poisoning Kaikeyi's mind. She tells Queen, you do not understand what you are doing. What a calamity will come to you. She rouses jealousy in Kaikeyi. If Rama becomes the king, Kausalya will be the king's mother. Nobody will care for you. And every time Kaikeyi is refuting her. No, 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 I love Rama. I know Rama well. But finally, Manthara is able to revive her jealousy. You know you have to become slave to Kausalya. And then Kaikeyi's mind changes totally. And all these things come. What? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Smriti Bhramsha, Buddhi Nasha. All these things happen in Kaikeyi's mind. Desire, anger, greed, delusion, forgetting. What she is forgetting? What Bharata will think she can never think. Bharata takes Rama to his all in all. Bharata wants to serve Rama all the time. That she does not remember now. She does not remember she had told Bharata once that King Dasharatha cannot live 1 second without Rama. If Rama goes somewhere, Bharata will die. But now she does not remember this also. She does not remember that Rama loves her so much. She does not remember that Kausalya has no Veda in her mind. Kausalya is equally solicitous for her. All these things she forgets. Manthara makes her forget everything. And then Buddhi Nash. What she decide? Manthara suggests. You, sometime old, when Dasharatha was fighting a war, he had taken Kaikeyi with him. And the axle of his chariot had broken. And Kaikeyi had helped him to revive the chariot and to fight. So at that time, Dasharatha has told, you seek any boons from me. 2 boons I will give you. She said that, I don't want anything. I love you. That's all. He was insisting, take some boons from me. She said, okay, when I will require, I will take. She has forgotten that also, but mantra reminds her for that. And says, now from Dasharatha you ask two boons. One is, make Bharata the king instead of Rama. Secondly, not satisfied with this, send Rama to forest for 14 years. These two boons you ask. What a calamity was coming on the whole Ayodhya. What a calamity was coming in that noble kingdom. How it did not turn into Sarvanasha? Mahapurusha Sangha. Bharata came and scolded her badly. Bharata did not accept any of these things. You are my enemy. I disown you. He declares, oh gods, oh angels, oh everybody, listen, I am disowning my mother. In me, he tells Kaikeyi, do you not understand what is the place of Rama? Rama is higher to me than anything in the world. I want to be slave. I want to be his worker, not the king. And that's saved, not only to Kaikeyi. Bharat, the Vasishtha is the guru. What happens? Rama goes away. Bharata is in his maternal uncle's house. His maternal grandfather's house, Bharata has gone. Bharata and his younger brother Shatrugna both are there. At that time, this happens, all these things happen. So, remembering Rama, Dasharatha dies. Now there is no king. So, the whole threads are taken up by Vasishtha, the Guru. And Vasishtha asks, send some messengers to Bharata, ask him to come back quickly. Don't tell him anything what has happened here. Ask him to return to Ayodhya quickly. Now Bharata has come. And first when he comes, he goes to Dasharatha's place and he does not find him there. Then he goes to his mother's place and mother is overjoyed and tells him, I have arranged everything for you. Bharata says, why you have done this? She said, for you. For me? I don't want this. Then Vasishtha has called a council. Bharata is in that council and Vasishtha tells that, Bharata, now it is your duty, you become the king now. Rama has gone to forest, Dasharatha has died, there should not be a kingdom without the king. And Dasharatha wants you to be the king, so you now become the king. Bharata is asking all the councillors, what is your opinion? They all say, yes, 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 we want all that you become a king. Bharata said, 3-4 days back, when Dasharatha called the council, all of you agreed that Rama is the best to rule the kingdom? They said, yes. Why you have changed today? He asked, Vasishtha, you are my guru, but on this point I cannot agree. Rama is the only king. But he is not here. I will go to forest and bring him back. You all help me, support me on that matter. So the situation was saved by Bharata. Otherwise, the whole kingdom, whole India, I would say, was going to ruins because of Manthara and Kaikeyi. I am giving the example, if you don't get a Mahapurush, don't go to bad company. The noble lady Kaikeyi, now till the end of life, Kaikeyi is denounced by everybody, except Rama, of course. Dasharatha disowns her. Rama says, no, no, let us follow what my father wishes, my mother. Rama still takes her as his mother. Father and mother both want me to go to forest, I will go. So the whole thing was getting crushed. This noble lady Kaikeyi had gone to ruins because of Manthara. This is a bright example of Dussanga Sarvataiva Tyaja. What the evil company will do to you? It will make you kama, krodha, lobha, moha, smriti bhransha, buddhi nasha, sarvanasha. Now in Kaikeyi's case, it did not lead to sarvanasha, or Kaikeyi was ruined, but the kingdom did not get sarvanasha because Bharata saved it. So you have seen both. What Mahapurush can do, like Bharat, and what evil company will do. But again you will say, I will not be influenced. I will not be influenced. For that Narada has a reply. Taranga ita api ime sangat samudrayante. Don't think you are 100%. Some ripples are there in you of the bad qualities. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, all are there in you today. Otherwise, you would have got real bhakti immediately. So, nobody should think he is perfect unless he gets that perfection. We are seeking perfection. We should not imagine we are perfect. Some element of fault is in every one of us. All these things are there. Kama, Krodha, Lova, Moha, Mada, Matsar, all these things. Maybe in very small ripples. Maybe in very small ripples. But if you have evil company, the ripple will become the ocean, mind you. Taranga ita api me, if they are in the form of small ripples, samudrayante will become the ocean by evil company. So shun evil company by all means, because it will give you kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsar, buddhinash, sarvanash. If you say, no, no, I will not be influenced, remember that all these things are in you in the form of very small ripples, and by evil company, these ripples will become like ocean and you will be lost. Actually, Narada is talking of Mahat Kripaya Eva, Tadeva Sadhyata. But Narada's method we always see this picture and see this picture. If you are not getting Mahapurusha Sangha, wait for it, seek it, you will get it, you will understand it, God will send him to you. In the meanwhile, don't go to evil company. So, this first section of the second chapter, called second chapter is Bhakti Sadhana, the method of achieving bhakti, of which the first section is Bhakti Sadhanani, the means for getting bhakti. And the means are Vishayatyaga, Sangatyaga, Avyavritta Bhajanat, Lokepi Bhagavad Guna Shravana Kirtanat, Mukhya Mahat Kripaya Eva. These are the means. Now, suppose bhakti has come in you. Now the sadhana takes a different turn. Up till now, the sadhana was for getting Naradiya Bhakti. Now you are in that flow. You have got Naradiya Bhakti. How the progress comes? What changes come in your mind? What changes come in your mind? How you cross the sansara? How you go beyond Maya? So, the goal of life we got in the previous sutra, mumuksha, we should get that. Now, another name of the goal of life is going beyond Maya. What is Maya? Deception. Maya means deception. How to go beyond Maya? So the second section is named as Maya Santaranam. What it means? When the Naradiya Bhakti has come in you, there will be changes in your life. Gradually you are growing. And all the changes will ultimately lead you to go beyond Maya. So this is how it is being expressed, how to go beyond Maya. And Narada starts this in a beautiful poetic way by putting a question. Kas tarati mayam. Who crosses Maya? Who crosses Maya? Does not mean he crosses and I do not cross. At what point of life I cross Maya? By what changes in my life I cross Maya? By what changes in my life I go beyond the deception of the world? By what changes in my life ultimately I realize God? So that Narada will describe. Though time is there, I wish to stop here because a very new, brilliant description is going to come in 5 sutras. We'll take it in the next time. If there is small or big question, you may please ask. Otherwise, if one day we stop some 7-8 minutes early, there is no harm, I think. Yes, please. Any question? Or I stop. You got the spirit today? Mat krupya eva. Don't go to Duskanga. Om Jayati Jagati Maya Yasya Kaya Davaste Vachana Rachanamekam Kevalam Cha Kalaya Dhruvapadamapi Yato Yat Krupato Dhruvoyam Sakala Kushala Patram Brahmaputram Natosmi Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna